Well, hello everyone. It is a thrilling week of World of Warcraft news.
Oh, it's beautiful. There's so much
Yep.
went on. So much went on. Perfect.
So much has happened. It changes everything.
Mm.
It's never going to be the same.
Yeah.
This stream, Warcraft, Earth, it's
Oh.
all different
Yep.
now that this World of Warcraft news has happened.
Upside down world for sure.
So hello chat. we're very much in the calm before the storm on all of this jazz because 9.1 PTRs Tuesday, maybe Wednesday.
That's 4
Thursday?
days. 4 days, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just threw just yesterday they sniffed the dev build going up.
So they did.
So it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like it's going to be suddenly delayed again. And because I did expect it to go up like a week or two ago, and I forgot about that step. So it's
Yeah.
like I forgot that all that stuff is signposted well ahead of time because Wohead and Blue Stiff and all those boys are just on the ball all the time.
Yeah, I think 1 to 2 weeks ago we all expected it sooner than that.
Yeah.
On the bright side, it gave us a little bit more time to plan things, which
Yes.
is nice for doing coverage.
Absolutely.
Certainly not great for people who want to watch WoW videos on cool new shit because it's cool new shit. Has not happened yet, but it will happen very soon, and
So it will.
I'm excited.
Same.
Excited for PTR, I think. Just, you know what, having something going on again will be nice.
Yeah, it's it's like I'm imagining just logging into PTR and just saying, here's the adventure journal pops up and it's like, oh, sweet stuff to do. Stuff to do that's not, just the usual.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
It's kind of crazy because, it's crazy in a way that it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because in my head, if 9.1 is successful, all it will really do is replicate what launch should have been anyway.
Yeah.
Because if patch 9.1, of course, makes Torghast, not Chorghast, it makes it Fungast, or whatever people will flippantly call it after that. If they actually make it like a roguelite where the loop makes sense, it's like it should have launched making sense. The Maw should have launched not being shit. It's kind of funny. I almost wish they cancelled the Maw. I almost wish they cancelled the Maw from. And this is going in an okay place. I almost wish they cancelled it from launch, but then, with the intent that the Maw would be a 9.0.5 sort of patch.
Right. Yeah.
Where, maybe we get to like week 30 of, not week 30, we get to like Renown level 30 or like the end of our Covenant campaigns.
Yeah.
And maybe the Maw opens up like then. And maybe all of that time would have actually given Blizzard the time to have, done the Maw revamp that they're probably doing for 9.1. Because we know it's got a new currency and all that stuff. Yeah. Which is interesting in itself because there's a new currency, but Venari is still Venari, surely. So,
yes.
Are we going to get more reputation levels with Venari to unlock? Or will it just be the new currency? And then if you're buying stuff with the new currency, will you need her rep? Can't imagine so, because they'd like people to jump into it.
Yeah, that's interesting because if they require a rep, then you're kind of scuffed if you're just joining or didn't do it. Because I'd be kind of scuffed because I'm still a couple weeks out from the final one because I don't care basically.
Same, yeah.
But I imagine they're going to new currency. Venari will probably still be the broker. Might get rid of the rep, but I imagine Venari will move. I imagine there'll be some new entry point into the mall that's in Korthia or something, and it'll be a whole big reframe of oh hey, here's where Venari is now. Think she's been happier with you in general, so she doesn't give you stuff now, regardless of who you are.
Yeah. I think it would be if it does just feel like Timeless Isle and it hits those gameplay beats, but it's a different theme, that would be really good, especially when we're mounting up in it too. So we're not going to have those usability issues. So it is kind of funny because I feel like the World Quest loop is stronger with flying mounts than it is without flying mounts. Because of World Quest just being smattered around the map and there not being much sort of game design in the flow between them. So flying mounts gets around that problem. So it's kind of funny because it's and I think this is overall a positive that's going on here. I know it will feel like complaining to people, but it's like, if the Maw gets to be that time the Isles-esque thing, and then Torghast is, Torghast has some form of progression loop where you progress Torghast from doing Torghast, such you can log in, just do a bunch of Torghast, and like, I don't know, get cool shit, cool upgrades, and then flying mounts in the rest of the Shadowlands world. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's it's weird. It's kind of like the more idealistic version of what we probably should have unlocked when we finished all of Shadowlands. So it kind of feels like this is okay, you're done with the base content stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit of a shame that feeling of completion and the feeling of like it opening up and having mastery over the zone does come with the new content as opposed to at the end of the old content, which is a little bit frustrating. But I mean, fundamentally,
yeah, it's an interesting thing because they do the flying based on the idea that you've mastered the world content of an expansion. I've never engaged with the system like that. I've just been like, I want to fly because, as much as Blizzard thinks for entirely valid game design reasons that I entirely agree with, that mounted gameplay is better. Ultimately, they've actually not designed a game that is for mounted gameplay. Or they've not designed it. To put that right, they've designed a game where you're consistently incentivized to zoom from location to location, where just being stuck in the ground or especially walking just feels like a complete chore. So I think flying just kind of unlocks that. So it is kind of funny because, like, you're right, you make a dungeon, the feature set that the game launched with being good. Yeah, it's just funny. I kind of think, like, because 9.1's got to fix them all and fix Torghast, I assume they will have a degree of success in both of those things, actually. And that'll basically just mean it's what they should have launched with at the start. I'm not really too sure why, other than the usual Blizzard stuff, which I think we'll get into in the quality of life news segment of this video, or this stream anyway.
This video.
They're all videos now. Where, they're so... They don't want to give you that, even the ability to earn that level of power early on. I think for reasons that are, maybe show up in the data and are in their heads, but are not correlated with happy players.
Oh,
I do wonder if they just, I don't know, if you just kind of like do a Legion and unlock the powerful feeling earlier. Because at least in Legion, like, you could hop about the world pretty damn quick. I mean, Emerald Wind.
Oh, yeah.
You get Emerald Wind.
Emerald Wind, Rock Feather.
Yeah, I love making that little video. You could do that, and then even like as a hunter, you talk to an NPC, and boom, you're in High Mountain, and you're in the class order hall. So, an interesting thing. I think a lot of that's just because BFA was so like, hello there, player power, come back. So yeah, funny stuff. I think the point though is, in a few days, we will finally be having some fun stuff to talk about, which will be nice.
Yeah, it'll be nice to have a reason to log in. Well, I mean, obviously this is PTR, so it'll be a long way out, but being able to see actually what's going on and log into, at least on PTR, and be like, oh, okay, here's, I'm not raid logging. I have things in the current game to actually do that feel in some capacity meaningful.
Yeah,
I think hopefully they can actually nail that. I mean, I'm sort of torn between this will be great versus, but I am in a fairly sort of pessimistic mood about things in general.
It was like talking to Morgan Day.
Yeah.
Because last time I'd mentioned, I'd love to just do that sort of big deep dive with Steve, and that's obviously in lore. I'd love to do the same with Morgan and actually get into that stuff, where he seemed pretty aware of the Torghast issues and stuff like that, which does at least make me think that they know roughly what the problem is and that they're going to be working specifically on the problem. So yeah, it's just going to be interesting. Even just when this PTR comes out, we'll basically have a window into what Blizzard's response to all of the last while has been. And I think that's what I'm really fascinated about. Like, there's so many ways Torghast could go. I'm just curious to see what one they go with. Same for the Maw. So yeah, I mean, neat stuff. In just a few days, we'll be able to do all of that fun.